we are kicking things off with the massive shift happening in the digital world. IBM is making huge bets on AI sovereignty, agent governance, and the quantum and AI flywheel, signaling a complete rewrite of how decisions are made across the entire economy. This is a fundamental change, and we dive into the strategy behind it right now. Intelligence, titled Magnifica Humanitas. This document will deeply explore the protection of the human person in this new age, focusing heavily on the dangers of AI in warfare and the threat to workers' rights. And to join the pontiff in this monumental presentation, we have Chris Olah, co-founder of Anthropic, lending his expertise to the discussion. This encyclical is expected to offer the Church's fullest guidance on labor in decades, marking a powerful moment for global workers. Stay with us as we break down all these massive stories. Bain & Company and the World Economic Forum have issued a strategic analysis on the intersection of artificial intelligence infrastructure and national sovereignty, focusing on the requirements, strategies, and a trusted framework for digital embassies. The report highlights the profound impact of AI assistance on consumer perception and decision-making, compelling the banking sector to fundamentally reassess how brands and products are discovered, compared, and ultimately purchased. As agentic AI reshapes retail economics, industry leaders are set to compete intensely for both shoppers and AI agents. The core argument presented is that AI's true significance lies not in mere efficiency gains, but in a fundamental restructuring of how decisions are executed and work is performed. In a recent event in Boston, IBM underscored its strategic position by emphasizing bets centered on AI sovereignty, agent governance, deploying AI on mainframes, and establishing a flywheel combining quantum computing with AI. The overarching message is clear. Organizations are now undertaking the necessary organizational transformations required to successfully scale and capture tangible value in this new AI-driven landscape. Syracuse University recently hosted an industry summit on artificial intelligence for the built environment, addressing the critical question of how AI tools will reshape the field of building science. Organized by Bing Dong, Traugott Professor of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering and co-director of the Syracuse Center of Excellence in Environmental and Energy Systems, Syracuse Co-E. The event convened experts from industry, academia, and government agencies. The working session on May 4 featured 12 companies and 35 participants. The day began with opening remarks from Professor Dong, followed by a panel exploring AI applications in smart and human-centered buildings. This session included a moderated discussion led by Syracuse Co-E Executive Director, Jianshun Jensen Zhang, allowing attendees to delve into recent AI advancements before a student poster session and lunch. The afternoon panel broadened the focus to AI's role in building connected infrastructure, covering essential topics such as smarter HVAC systems, grid-scale flexibility, and community resilience. The summit concluded with intensive small group discussions, facilitated by Syracuse University faculty, which brought together a diverse cross-section of academic and industry voices to stress-test the day's themes and foster future collaborations. Professor Dong announced plans to seek funding for an interdisciplinary research center, potentially a National Science Foundation engineering research center, aimed at advancing university-industry partnerships in the healthy buildings sector. The summit underscored that AI's impact on the built environment is no longer theoretical. It is operational and expanding rapidly. The primary challenge identified is the thoughtful, sustainable, and scaled deployment of these tools across areas like smart HVAC and energy resilience. The event was supported by the university's Office of Research through their Team Building for Large, Collaborative Grants program. Interested parties can follow Syracuse Co-E on LinkedIn or sign up for their email list for updates on future events and opportunities. In a historic development that marks a significant break from centuries of papal tradition, Pope Leo XIV has set a firm date for the presentation of his first major encyclical focused entirely on artificial intelligence. The document, titled Magnifica Humanitas, Magnificent Humanity, is scheduled to be personally presented by the Pontiff on May 25. The encyclical was formally signed by Pope Leo on May 15. According to Vatican sources, the text will delve deeply into the critical issue of the protection of the human person in the age of artificial intelligence. Reports indicate the document is expected to contain strong criticism regarding the deployment of AI in warfare and address the escalating threat the technology poses to global workers' rights. This encyclical represents one of the highest forms of papal teaching, traditionally used to communicate a pope's core priorities to the world's 1.4 billion Catholics. Experts note that a pope's inaugural encyclical typically outlines the most serious social and moral issues facing the modern world. In a striking deviation from standard Vatican protocol, where such high-level texts are usually introduced by cardinals and press officials, the American-born pontiff will present the document himself. Joining him for the presentation is Chris Olah, co-founder of the prominent AI company Anthropic. This selection is highly symbolic, given Anthropic's history of clashes with the U.S. government over stringent guardrails against AI use in autonomous military targeting and domestic surveillance. The Pope's recent rhetoric against world leaders condemning the inhumane evolution of tech-driven warfare aligns with the themes of the new document. The timing of the signature also carries profound historical significance. Pope Leo signed the document on the 135th anniversary of Pope Leo XIII's landmark 1891 encyclical, which championed fair wages and improved conditions for industrial laborers. Decades later, Pope Leo XIV is positioned to deliver the Church's most definitive guidance on labor since the industrial era, this time centering on defending humanity against the advancement of machines. Pope Leo is set to release his first major encyclical addressing the rise of artificial intelligence, scheduled for unveiling on May 25. The document, titled Magnifica Humanitas, is expected to critically examine the use of AI in warfare and address the challenges the technology poses to workers' rights, according to sources. The Vatican statement confirmed that Pope Leo formally signed the text on Friday ahead of its publication. The encyclical will focus on the protection of the human person in the age of artificial intelligence. In a significant departure from tradition, Pope Leo, the first American pope, will participate in a Vatican presentation of the text, joined by Chris Olah, co-founder of the AI company Anthropic. Encyclicals represent the highest form of teaching from a pontiff to the Church's 1.4 billion members, typically outlining the Pope's priorities on serious social and moral issues. The document is also anticipated to offer extensive guidance on workers' rights. Pope Leo has previously expressed strong concerns regarding AI's use in warfare, citing conflicts globally as evidence of an inhumane evolution in the relationship between war and new technologies. This move follows earlier warnings from the pontiff and aligns with the stance of Anthropic, which has advocated for guardrails restricting the military application of its AI models. This encyclical follows another major document released by Pope Leo in his first year, which addressed global market systems and wealth inequality.